This video is about the role of practitioners in systems thinking research practice and the need to reframe our research practice. Ray Ison is one of very known systems thinking researchers and wrote about this in his article titled Governing in the Anthropocene, What Future Systems Thinking in Practice, which was published in 2016 under the journal Systems Research and Behavioral Science, which I highly recommend as an excellent piece of reading and thinking. And you can find it online using the full reference I included on this slide. So just an introduction before we get to what Ison said in terms of practitioners' role in research. Normally in research, we tend to take an issue or a phenomena or a problem, if you like, come up with a framework that is suitable to deal with this issue or problem or phenomena, and then apply it to our methodology to get answers. So how should research practice be done when using systems thinking? Ison is of the view that new knowledge arise as or come about as an emergent property of the system dynamics of all components of research. How is that? So Ison explained that all research practice is situated and embodied in a practitioner. In research practice, there are systemic relations that exist between a researcher who comes with, their own history baggage, if you like, and therefore they tend to act out of a tradition of understanding as shown in the cloud coming out of a person in orange. So this person may or may not choose the framework of ideas and the method or methodology, including tools and techniques to deal with that issue or phenomena in hand. Because of this depicting of research, Ison is of the view that there is a need to review these elements in the sketch as interactive to reflect on how we do research in general. With this framing, our framework parts of our research could be understood in two ways, he says. First one way is as making a framing choice regarding the problem of concern, or as a purposeful choice of a theoretical framework within which we situate or locate our research. Ison realizes that sometimes our framework is really left out if theory is not considered in our practice. Ison also saw that declaring our framework is critical for social science research as well as action research. So why research practitioners should be reflexive? Okay, so Ison advocates for having researchers in systems thinking who are reflexive practitioners, those with the capacity to reflect on reflection. He argued that research practitioners in this space tend to have epistemological conflict, whether implicit or explicit, but still he considered it endemic. They tend to be confused about how to distinguish between technique, methodology, and method. They also lack the awareness of how science products mediate practice, and there is inadequate ethics of practice in relation to social science purpose of what researchers study. So that is why Ison advocated for having reflexive practitioners too, and he advocates for practitioners in general to eliminate epistemological conflicts, whether implicit or explicit, avoid confusion about differentiating between, technique, method, and methodology, to have awareness of how science products mediate practice, and to establish adequate ethics of practice regarding social purpose of the situation. In relation to the lack of this critical reflection, Ison used a really good example of how researchers do action research. So action research is very well known if you've come across it before. it's normally used to deal with issues or problems in a certain way with a certain framework, methodology, etc. So he used Chuckland and his colleagues, FMA model, where they articulated criteria for doing effective and publicly defensible action research, which involves a framework of ideas, methodology, and area of application as a desired in advance framework against which a researcher's new knowledge claim can be made. Although this framework has been useful to guide researchers doing action research, this model is limited by the lack of critical reflection on practice when doing it and how this feeds into this off-the-shelf action research framework by, for example, Chuckland or other researchers. And this is why Ison used this perfect example to explain why systems thinking and cybernetics researchers should be reflexive practitioners that knowledge and context can be explained in terms of and are evoked within practice and not the other way around as a way to illustrate the reframing that we need to do in our research practice. So hopefully this video gave you an idea about the very important role that practitioners play in systems thinking research and its practice in terms of the way that we frame things as researchers, and also as the crucial role of critical reflections that we have to do as practitioners if you want to deeply and truly do systems thinking research.